The 2010 film Made in Dagenham retells the true story of one group of women in 1960s England and their fight for equal pay. Working as machinists in the Ford car plant in Dagenham, they are angered by the fact that they are being paid less than their male colleagues for equally skilled work, and they decide to strike. Despite having to overcome many barriers, their cause gains momentum until it is noticed by the government, finally leading to the Equal Pay Act of 1970. It is just one of numerous films that dramatise the battles that have been fought in the area of human rights. Amazing Grace deals with the abolition of the slave trade, Invictus with the ending of apartheid, and Selma with the civil rights movement, to name just three. There have been many victories for human rights in the last 200 years. Each is worth celebrating, and their stories need telling, for all of them have come at a cost. William Wilberforce lost his health, Nelson Mandela his freedom, and Martin Luther King his life. However, that doesn't mean that there are no more battles to fight. Slavery still exists. Discrimination still occurs. Racism certainly hasn't been eradicated. The fight for human rights goes on. We'll think more about some of these ongoing battles in Chapter 4. In order to do that, we need to ask some more fundamental questions here. Why do we so easily assume that we have human rights? Where does that assumption come from? Are we even worthy of the rights we claim to have? Why should humans be treated with such dignity when they themselves often haven't treated each other or the world in that way? How much are we worth? Behind our battle for human rights is the belief that human life is valuable. Yet, how much are we actually worth? Apparently, about £5. Even if we have not assumed ourselves to be worth millions, like a Premier League footballer, it still comes as a bit of a shock to realise that, from a material point of view, we are worth little more than a pint of beer. However, if you were to break down the average human body into its constituent elements and sell them to a chemist, then that's all you'd get. In the average human body, there is apparently enough iron to make a 15-centimetre nail, enough sulphur to cure a dog of fleas, enough carbon to make 900 pencils, enough potassium to fire a toy cannon, enough fat to make 7 bars of soap, possibly more in mine, enough phosphorus to tip the end of 2,200 matches, and enough water to fill a 10-gallon tank. We may laugh at such an idea. We know that there is more to us than that. But if the only thing that really exists is physical matter, then how can we be anything more than that? If matter is all there is, then why do we matter? Francis Crick is remembered for being one of the 2 scientists who discovered the structure of DNA. He was also a materialist, as is evident from his writing. You, your joys and your sorrows, your memories and your ambitions, your sense of personal identity and free will are in fact no more than the behaviour of a vast assembly of nerve cells and their associated molecules. You're nothing but a pack of neurons. I do sometimes wonder, though, what response any of us would get if we declared to our loved ones on Valentine's Day, "To my darling pack of neurons, my nerve cells love you very much." Crick was not alone in dismissing the idea of intrinsic human value. Steven Pinker, the Canadian cognitive psychologist, wrote in the New Republic of the stupidity of dignity. Yuval Noah Harari, the Israeli historian and atheist, says in his book Sapiens, "Homo sapiens has no natural rights, just as spiders, hyenas and chimpanzees have no natural rights."